Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I am Mindy. I do videos on disability and cerebral palsy, and yeah, welcome to the family. If you have not subscribed yet, press the little subscribe button. Press the subscribe button and click the bell so that you get notifications for when I post, because I'm posting a lot more, but when I post, I do not know. Aging and disability. I feel like it's a topic that everybody knows about and everybody sort of expects will be harder, or maybe that they'll age faster, or maybe that they won't. But they don't really consider, at least within the CP realm, what that looks like, because it is known that CP is not a degenerative disease, which I agree it is not, in that once the clot in your brain has been made and settled wherever it has settled, it's not going anywhere. It's not going to magically disappear or move somewhere else. So the damage is done there. There's not going to be any more brain damage. What I feel people don't realize is when you use your body in a different way, like we do, because we sway back and forth when we walk, or we have more or less tone in the limbs just generally, and we use basically our bodies completely differently than they were designed to be used. The aging process happens quicker, which we all sort of, that we can extrapolate, that we know. But how it happens and how it affects what the CP looks like for us is not talked about, or is so different for everybody else, for everybody, is so different for everybody that it's hard to talk about and hard to know if it's just regular aging or if it's CP related. So I am just going to give you my experience, and I should say I am 30 this year, 30 in September, this past September, and I am loving it, 30 years young. And I remember my muscle doctor telling me that by the time you're 30, you'll be in a wheelchair. And it was a sobering thought when he told me that, and my mom was like, no, you'll be the one that is not. I was using mobility aids, walker, crutches, wheelchair by the time I was 25. And for me, it's because when I walk for longer than 20 minutes, I start to get lower back problems because of the gait, the swinging back and forth. Your lower back starts to, at least in my case, my lower back seizes up big time, and I cannot, I'm in a lot of pain, or I can do it but I have to walk slower, and I'm at bigger risk of falling. It's just easier if I use a chair for myself and for everyone around me. I'm more productive, I'm more able to do the things that I want to do. So I still have a walker and I use it occasionally. For myself, yes, definitely, when the doctor said to me at 20 that I would be in a wheelchair by 30. I thought, no, like, what does he know? But that did happen, and that's okay. I truly feel like I was more confident getting into a chair than I was standing up. And that's because I felt that all of a sudden I didn't have to worry about balancing or holding things and balancing, or even like talking to somebody and shifting my weight and maybe like tripping. Like, I didn't have to worry about floors being wet or anything like that. I could just worry about being myself. And that was very freeing to me, to know that with this mobility aid, I was able to do more and be more me than I ever could have been standing up. And it has its own set of challenges, getting into places and, you know, maybe the extra stairs you'll get. But I have grown up having people stare at me. And so it doesn't bother me anymore. It really doesn't. Like, what bothers me more is when people stop me and say, "You're too pretty to be in a wheelchair." I am like, okay, so there's a tight, like, just because I'm in a wheelchair, I need to look a certain way? No, I'm gonna look as fabulous as I need to look, and I'm gonna rock my wheels and have them look fabulous too. Again, I just feel more like myself, and like there are less barriers in front of me, if that makes sense, rather than more barriers because I'm in a chair. I feel like for myself, I can get through even more and be heard in a different way now that I'm using my chair more. And it's just because I feel more confident that way. That's a major part of it, I think, that I don't have to worry about the balance of things. Like, other than the balance of my chair, obviously, but I physically don't have to worry about balancing, about where I'm gonna sit, how I'm gonna get around, like, these 5 people and pass as able-bodied and do all of these things, because it's almost like, hi, yes, I know you see the big metal thing attached to my ass, and it makes me stand out, so I'm gonna use that to my advantage and like speak to you and educate you, and then I'm going to blow your mind with my knowledge about XYZ. It's not something that puts up barriers for me, it's something that really breaks them down, because people don't have a choice but to ask or make a snarky comment, and then I will educate them, you know, because I have no choice in the matter unless I want to go and be tripping all over and in pain all day. I have no choice but to use my chair, like, in public situations and at work and on buses. So this is my life. This is not necessarily what I would choose. Do I have an option on different days, whether I want to walk or whether I want to take my chair, or whether I want to take my walker? I do. And sometimes I choose one thing and sometimes I choose another. When I make my choice, I also know the ramifications of that choice. If I decide that I'm going to walk one day, then I know that for the next couple of days after that, I'm gonna be in pain. So if I don't have like two days, 3 days, 4 days, a week to like recoup after walking the mall for, a couple hours, then I'll take my chair, right? So it's these types of decisions that I feel you need to make when you get older. You have to know sort of how each situation is going to affect you, and you don't know that until you've like been in it, right? But that's why it's almost good that it happens when you're older, because you then have more knowledge of yourself and the disability that you have as a whole, to make those choices. Also, aging with a disability comes with just, and I'll go into this in another video, I guess, but for me at least, I found a lot more sensation loss is, I guess, what I'm gonna call it is, yeah, sensation loss. So I really don't feel a lot of sensation in my feet. Most days, my lower legs, and even part of my thighs sometimes, I can't feel them, so I will forget that I am wheeling around with a tape dispenser on my lap for 4 hours, like at work, because even though it's a heavy tape dispenser, I don't feel it, right? I don't know that it's there, and that was not something that previously was an issue, but I have noticed it more lately, and it does sadden me at times, because you realize that the things you used to be able to do or be able to feel, you don't feel as much, or you need to ask for more help or do, and that is something that I still struggle with. But that is only in my case, and that could be just because of the different surgeries that I have had. So if you want me to go into more of my surgeries and stuff like that, I think I have a video on it, but I will do another one because it's probably cringy. But let me know either down below or comment on Instagram, and I will definitely do something like that. But the last thing that I have noticed with aging with a disability, other than the sensation loss, is as you lose some function, you then have to ask for help more. And I have had trouble asking for help from people for a very long time, because I feel like I can figure out a way to do things. I can or should be able to do this myself, especially if I have been able to do it myself before. I can't see how all of a sudden I can't do it now. That to me is very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. because you used to be able to do it. You know how to do it. Your body knows how to do it, and then all of a sudden you can't do it. Like, you've devised a whole plan as to how XYZ is supposed to work, but it's not working, and it's like, why? That is frustrating, but by far, and I've said this before, the most frustrating thing, I think, with aging with a disability, and I put it under aging because it happens, I think, at a certain age when you realize that your disability makes you different. You also may realize, like, I know all the muscles that go into how to kick something, right? And I understand exactly how this motion is supposed to work and what kind of muscles and muscle groups I am using to create that motion and make that motion happen, but I can't actually do it myself. But I can explain it to you. That is, I want to say, like, that is the Achilles heel of having CP for me, is that I understand how to do something, and I understand it not only on a muscular level and a physical level, but I can fully comprehend how to do something, but I can't make my body do it. That is very hard for me. Editing Mindy here from the future. As I'm editing this video, I am noticing that it is really long. Super long. So I'm going to split it into 2 videos for your sanity and mine, and we will have one video of sort of what I've learned in my 30s about disability, and another on the pros of aging with disability. So those are a few of the things aging with a disability has brought up for me. If you liked this video, and stay to the end because this is going to be a long one, let me know down below. Give me green hearts if you have stayed to the very end. If you have any suggestions for videos or anything like that, leave them down below, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.